All right, let's jump right in. There are some really big truths about life that, for most of us, only click after years and years of just trying to figure things out. But what if you could get a major head start? Today, we are unpacking 7 of these huge, life-changing secrets, all backed by actual psychology that can give you that critical perspective right now, not later. Just let that sink in for a second. The wisdom we need the most often shows up last. And sure, hindsight is a powerful thing, but you know what's even better? Foresight. That's a straight-up superpower. So what if you didn't have to learn everything the hard way? What if you could get your hands on a kind of cheat sheet for navigating some of life's biggest hurdles? Well, that's exactly what we're going for here by tapping into proven psychological insights. I mean, let's be real. Life doesn't come with an instruction manual. We're all just kind of thrown into it. And we're often forced to learn the most important lessons through some pretty painful experiences. Mistakes we look back on and wish we could just undo. But this is where science can really step in and help. Psychology gives us the clarity to fast-track that wisdom. It helps you finally understand the why behind your own thoughts and actions, which gives you the power to sidestep those common traps and start making better choices today. So let's start by looking inside. Because so much of what we experience day to day is shaped by these hidden rules in our minds that we don't even know exist. Let's pull back the curtain on a couple of them. Oh man, you know this feeling, right? You trip over a word during a presentation, or you wear an outfit that's a little out there, and you are just convinced every single person in the room is staring at you, judging you. It can feel totally paralyzing. Well, that feeling actually has a name. It's called the spotlight effect. And the truth it reveals is kind of funny, really. While you're busy obsessing over that tiny mistake you made, everyone else is just as busy obsessing over their own stuff. They're the star of their own movie, just like you are in yours. And when you really get that, wow, it's so freeing. It means you can take that risk, you can be your weird, authentic self, you can act without that heavy weight of imaginary judgments on your shoulders. Because that spotlight you feel, it's not actually there. Okay, here's another one of those hidden rules that keeps so many of us stuck. Ever wonder why it's so incredibly hard to leave a job you know you hate, or end a relationship that just isn't working anymore? Well, that's the endowment effect in action. Your brain literally tricks you into thinking something is more valuable just because it's yours. So letting go feels like a massive loss, even when it's the best possible thing for you. And this sets up a huge internal conflict. Holding on feels safe, right? It's familiar. But that safety is a trap that closes the door on new opportunities. Letting go, on the other hand, well, that's what creates the space you need for real growth, for actual freedom. Now think about this. You combine the endowment effect with the spotlight effect, and you've got a problem. We overvalue what we have, and we're terrified people will judge us if we change it. It's a psychological one-two punch that can keep a person stuck in the same spot for years. Okay, so we've looked at the weird biases inside our heads. Now let's talk about how we handle challenges from the outside world. Our first instinct is usually to run away from anything that feels uncomfortable. But what if discomfort is actually where all the good stuff happens? Come on, we've all got one. That tough conversation you keep meaning to have, that big project on your to-do list that you just keep pushing to tomorrow. You think by avoiding it, you're saving yourself from stress, but psychology shows us the exact opposite is happening. Turns out, avoidance is like pouring fuel on the fire of your anxiety. The thing you're dodging doesn't just go away. It gets bigger and bigger in your mind, sucking up all your mental energy. The research on this is crystal clear. The second you turn around and just face the problem head on, your stress levels actually start to drop. The anticipation is almost always way worse than the reality. And this idea goes even deeper than that. We spend our whole lives being taught to be afraid of things like failure, rejection, and heartbreak. But there's this incredible concept called post-traumatic growth. It shows that those painful experiences are often the very things that force us to discover new strengths, to change our entire perspective, and to build a life with way more meaning. This says it all, doesn't it? Our hardest times are often our best teachers. They show us a strength we never knew we had, and they teach us lessons that a comfortable, easy life never ever could. So, if real change is born from challenge, how does it actually happen? Well, it's not about taking one giant, heroic leap. It's about understanding the power of small, consistent steps. You've probably heard of the butterfly effect, but it applies so perfectly to our lives. Just think back for a second. The biggest turning points in your life probably didn't feel like a big deal at the time, did they? It was probably a single yes to an invitation, one small risk you took, one conversation that ended up changing everything that followed. And here's one of the most powerful small actions you can possibly take: gratitude. It's not just some nice, fluffy feeling. Positive psychology has proven that it is a serious tool for literally rewiring your brain and shifting your entire outlook on life. The biology here is just incredible. When you actively practice gratitude, it physically changes you. It brings down your stress hormones like cortisol, and at the same time, it boosts the chemicals in your brain that make you feel good, dopamine and serotonin. It forces your brain to shift its focus from what's wrong to what's right. And finally, there's this one last crucial stage. Anytime you try something new, a new skill, a new job, there's always that awkward phase where you just feel like you don't know what you're doing. Psychologists call this the learning zone. And most people, they hate this feeling so much that they quit. But here's the secret. That discomfort isn't a sign you're failing. That feeling is the feeling of growth. All right, let's pull all of this together. These aren't just cool theories to think about. They are actual tools you can pick up and use to start building the life you really want, right now, today. I want you to burn this into your brain. The next time you feel awkward or scared because you're a beginner at something, just tell yourself, I'm not failing. I'm in the learning zone. You're exactly where you need to be to get better. Look, your brain is wired to love comfort. It loves what's familiar, so it will naturally fight against the very things you need to do to grow. But the science is undeniable. Leaning into that discomfort, making those small choices, facing those challenges, that is the process that forges you into a stronger, wiser person. So I'll leave you with this one question. The person you are in the process of becoming, they're listening, they're watching. Every single small choice you make today is a message you're sending to them. So, what choice are you going to make for them?